Hello there and welcome. Today, let's take a full look at the Nerf Roblox Arsenal Pulse Laser. Included in the box is of course the blaster itself. We also have a 10-round end strike magazine, 10 elite darts, the instructions, and a code to a virtual item. I'm not a Roblox player, so feel free to use this code. The battery compartment is located right here. And this blaster requires 4 AA's. On the left side of the blaster only, we do have the jam door, which can be pulled down. You cannot rev the blaster when the jam door is open. On the top, we do have this hollow scope. Now it is fixed in place and not removable. Of course, right down here, we have our rev trigger, main trigger, and magazine release. Now this magazine release is in the trigger well, and it's incredibly far away. As far as ergonomics go, I actually don't mind the stock. It's an okay length, and it's actually pretty comfortable. But besides that, almost every other aspect has been executed very poorly. This is probably one of the worst grips I have ever seen. It is very uncomfortable and blocky. The magazine release, like I said, is incredibly far forward. I have pretty long fingers and I cannot reach this thing very well. I can, but it is very, very uncomfortable. This blaster does ship with a N-Strike magazine and works with every other N-Strike magazine I've tried, but this mag well is very, very tight. Now, despite the ergonomics being very poor, the actual trigger pull is pretty smooth. Let's load up the included darts and put some rounds over the chronograph. These darts basically look just like standard elite darts, but their blue might be slightly different. So they're all loaded up. I'm gonna insert our magazine. 68, 67, 72, 67, 66, 68, duplicate 68, duplicate 268, 66, 70, and we're out. So those numbers are just fine. That is right about what I expected from this thing, being essentially a Stryfe reskin. Let's load in a different magazine and throw some darts at this target. So what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Roblox Arsenal Pulse Laser? Overall, my thoughts are not super negative or positive on this thing. In functionality, it is essentially a Stryfe, and as far as Stryfe reskins go, I prefer something like the Storm Charge or, anything that's more tactical. I don't really necessarily like the blocky aesthetic, but if you are a fan of Roblox, maybe you would. The ergonomics really do get tiresome after a while. I really don't like the grip and the magazine release setup. I like the way the blaster looks, especially with these 2 barrels. However, they are faux barrels. I think it would have been so much cooler if this blaster shot 2 darts at once or had some kind of unique mechanism. Instead, it's unoriginal. It's just a Stryfe reskin. So I don't think this blaster is terrible and everyone should stay away from it at all costs, because I'm sure it'll have its fans. However, personally, I couldn't recommend this to someone just because the ergonomics are so terrible. It's possible that some will just overlook the poor ergonomics and will just like the styling that much. And if that's you, if this thing is on sale, maybe it's worth it. So those are my thoughts on the Nerf Roblox Arsenal Pulse Laser. I would love to hear your thoughts on the blaster. Subscribe if you like what I do, and happy blasting.